So will tonight's PR stunt put an end to this media firestorm? Joining me now, conservative columnist S.E. Cupp, Fox News legal analyst and anchor Kimberly Guilfoyle. You know, I do think something has happened here. Well, why are you laughing?
Are you thirsty? Is that
yeah, no, but well, we do have beer here. This is great American beer here.
Yeah, good thing you brought this, because that whole thing was a little bit dull and dry, and I don't know what they thought they accomplished.
I brought some beer, too.
I like that.
Oh,
you brought beer.
I brought some beer, too. I thought maybe we could take a crack at that Middle East conflict while we're here.
I have no reason to believe it's illegal.
I missed the memo, BYOB. When you come to Sean Hannity show,
I brought my own beer. I thought, we're having a summit. Let's try
let's say exactly.
fix that Middle East skirmish over some beers.
All right, but there's a lot of serious. One of the things that's bothering me here, the president didn't apologize.
Right.
Gates didn't apologize.
Right.
And they have successfully seemed to have moved this debate into an area where it really didn't belong.
Yeah,
Am I right or
I
wrong?
think it's ridiculous. If this was like a football game, somebody's heading to the wrong end zone. This did not accomplish, I think, what it set out to. It came off really, I think, lacking any authenticity. It just seemed forced, very staged. I mean, they're so far away. It's like the nosebleed seats at a concert. You feel so far away from the whole thing. What do you get from that whole deal except every time, having been in politics, they tell you, take off the suit, roll up the sleeves, appear relaxed, approachable to the American people.
This is, in Kimberly's mind, a photo op.
Totally staged, ridiculous.
I think it's. I'm going to be a little bit more critical. I think that this was a really unseemly moment for the office of the presidency. From the very beginning, I thought it was inappropriate that the president weighed in on this during his health care press conference before he had any information, threw the cops under the bus, and I thought this was inappropriate too. I don't think the president needs to be a hall monitor and teach us all a lesson about race, where race wasn't even an issue.
Yeah, well,
where's the teachable moment and lesson?
I think if anyone acted stupidly here, I would argue that Professor Gates did. Because here's a police officer that risked his life to save his property, put his life on the line, and he got yelled at and beaten up and called racist for no reason. And then then the president jumps in, not knowing any facts. Right. He acted stupidly.
Right, fanning the flames.
Fanning the flames.
Making it worse. Yeah. What's worse is Gates said in his press conference that the president rose above the fray. I think the president jumped right into the fray. Well, I think the president made the situation worse.
Well, when the president said it's a teachable moment, we got to lower the volume, and then he went out there today and he was lecturing us again. You know, we've got to lower the hyperbole and really people ginning up anger. He ginned up the anger.
Yeah, and he made it go national, international, global, because now everyone's talking about this beer summit. It just comes off as some goofy Saturday Night Live skit that just wasn't very funny.
Pretty silly.
It was just this awkward, and then last minute they let Joe Biden come, so someone had to run, hey, go get Joe a brew. You know, it's just very strange.
All right, why couldn't the president, from the very beginning, once he realized, uh-oh, I stepped in it here, why didn't he just do the smart thing? You know what? I'm sorry. I want to apologize to all the people involved in the case. I want to apologize to the police. I didn't know the facts. I spoke too early, and end it. This has now gone on for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I love that they're looking to this beer summit to sort of put an end to it. Well, it didn't really have to be a national story to begin with. This was a local incident. It could have been covered for 2 days. And instead, the president chose during a primetime address to make it an issue of race and national importance.
In the political how-to book for dummies, it's like page 1. Don't turn a one-day story into a 2-page, 3-page, and stretch it out.
Tell us? I think there's a broader question. What does this tell us about President Obama, that he would rush into this case, make an assumption about police? Because I read into this something that I have said for a long time.
Which is?
Sean Hannity believes the president is far more radical and extreme than anybody wants to admit. I think he convinced the American people he's somebody that he's not. I think his radical associations prove this. Do you see this shows anything about Obama that most people won't say?
Oh, I think
a lot of things.
Oh, yeah. I think, and I wrote about this in Politico this week, it looks like the Chicago way is alive and well in the White House. Yeah. He gets up, stands up for his buddy, throws cops under the bus, makes a racial issue out of a non-issue, a miscommunication at worst. I mean, it wasn't very dignified.
Does the president, in your view, have any issues about race?
Oh, I think he does, but I think he also wants to be a popular president. I don't think he wants to get into too much trouble. So I thought he was saying something kind of, incidental.
Do you think he has issues with race?
You know, what disturbed me is this statement, the way he conducted himself, really suggests that he does. I mean, how do you really turn it any other way but seeing it in that situation? Because why would he make a rush to judgment, make that statement about this individual, not knowing his character, not knowing his background? In fact, this is an individual who has been commended in the area of race relations, not someone with a history of any problem.
And this is the thing. This is the officer that was responsible for talking about issues of diversity in the community.
Right.
When Reggie Lewis, I was a big Celtics fan. I mean, when they had Larry Bird and Parrish and McHale and Danny Ainge and DJ, Reggie Lewis was an up-and-coming star, and his tragic death, he was there trying to revive him and save his life.
That's right.
So that's the problem. It's a really unfortunate choice in terms of how this went down, that the president ended up making these comments about this particular officer. So that's why I'm saying it just begs the question, where's the teachable moment or the lesson here? And I think it comes off a little, maybe.
I think the president needs to realize he's in an incredibly influential position, and he should think before he speaks.
Well, now we know he's human.
Yeah.
Well,
makes mistakes.
I think we knew that already.
Well, all right, but here's the question. Now, his poll numbers have been going down. Yeah. He's in the middle. He lost really his push to get health care before the politicians go on recess, the House and Senate go on recess. So the question is, what part did this play in his declining numbers?
Well, I think that this did not help. If you look at the poll numbers on this, majority of people, 47%, were dissatisfied with the way he handled this particular situation. About 30% or so thought, perhaps he did an okay job with it. But that's not very good, because he's not really getting any big push moment that's showing that he is propelling his political capital forward. He hasn't been able to be effective with health care. This didn't work out. So what does he have right now to hold on to say, look, I'm effective and I get things done?
These are silly distractions. This is the kind of stuff that ad execs do, and this presidency is very much the ad man mentality. Heavy on gloss, light on substance. I have beer summits in my apartment almost every night.
What's this beer
What's the big deal?
Can we come?
You do?
I'm having one tomorrow night. A big beer summit.
You can crack. Now this.